Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pitzling, our vanilla build guide for Cities Skylines remastered on PS5. You can also as well follow on PS4 and Xbox, and if you're playing vanilla on PC as well. Thank you so much for joining again for this part two. I'm really excited to keep this series going. So please make sure you subscribe and you join the community over here. I'll also have Discord if you would like to join me there. And I have my Patreon if you would like to support me. Otherwise, if you're missing any of the DLCs and you would like to support the channel, please use the link below for instant gaming to purchase anything you're still missing. Even if you're purchasing it on console on the PS Store, you can get some really good deals on gift cards to save a little bit more money when purchasing those add-ons and DLCs on the App Store. Let's go ahead and see what we've done last episode. So we started our first initial neighborhoods right here with our main avenue going down towards the river. Um, we have two versions of assets that we're using for the housing. We started a self-sufficient buildings on the side of the avenue using our Green Cities DLC. And as you can see, someone is already using the alleys we built last time. I'm actually happy to see that. And on this side, we're using the European suburbia by the amazing Samantha Woods, just to transition slowly toward that rural vibe that we're going for. We have our main avenue with some very selective, um, selected, sorry, selected assets for our commercial, historicalize anything that you like and leave the rest to upgrade to level 2 to see if you like them, or you can go ahead and remove them right away. And we'll be expanding this main avenue towards the river in this episode. We started our first in specialization industry area using our farming area and farming specialization from both the vanilla base game and the DLC, and will be expanded further on this episode as well as we meet our industrial area. Quick overview of what we're going to be doing today. As I said, we're going to be expanding our farming industrial area. We're going to be expanding on this avenue to meet our main avenue going around the riverwalk or the waterfront, removing and redoing our main industrial area, the first service area that we have here. We'll also be building our first main school campus later during this episode. And if we have time, we'll be building our first interchange if we hit the milestone to unlock the highways. But for now, let's get started by tracing our avenue along the river. First off, I just want to say I'm sorry about my voice. It's a little bit off. I was sick the last couple days, but I'm having some tea with some honey and lemon and ginger to get over it so I can finish this episode for you guys. First, I want to pause this quickly to be able to move this off to this side to give us just a little bit more space. Remove everything here. Then we have to go back, make sure it's connected to our pipes and it's connected to our power as well. And then we can click play. Um, I would like the roundabout to be around here somewhere, but straight enough with the main avenue coming down, with these avenues going around the river, and with this bridge eventually crossing over here. So let's just eyeball where the bridge will almost sit. It's going to be somewhere right here. Then we can go ahead and try to match it with this one. Again, remember the trick. So here we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think a 4 by 4, which is 8 diameter, a full radius roundabout will be sufficient for us here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down. And I'm going to go with 4 this way, 4 this way. go to my curve tool. I can turn off this one. I might be a little bit off here, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete here and go up by 4. Perfect. And then it should work. Great. Then I'll go grab my avenue from here and see if it just a little bit off. So I'm just going to go until here and maybe use our freeform, remove all the angles. Or maybe I'll just go with the straight. And yeah, that works. It looks straight enough. Especially we're not going to be using the zoning right around the roundabout. We're going to go and do some landscaping and detailing later on. Let's grab our straight avenue and start tracing where this one will be going, and I would like to have it almost parallel to the river right here until maybe this point, and then we'll start curving it. That looks, yeah, that looks good right there. We'll do the same thing around here. That looks good. And this will eventually come and around, maybe curve a little bit this way before curving back over the highway into our interchange. We have a fire, so hopefully our fire department is going to take care of it. Perfect. Then we have our roundabout, so we can go to our one-way road. I prefer for the roundabout to use the 3-lane one-way. It works better in my experience because you have the turning lane and the straight lane, and sometimes it helps a little bit with traffic. Once we upgrade our main avenue to a 3-way road with 3 lanes on each side, it will give you the one way out, and it helps with the traffic a little bit. Now we can go and remove all this bracing because we don't need it. Later on, if once we have our bridge crossing right here, we can look into adding that bracing if it's needed, because sometimes when you're creating a new node in the roundabout, it loses its shape, but if you're using an existing node, it should be fine. And here we're going to be using an existing node anyway. So we have our roundabout perfectly placed. We're going to go ahead and start curving this one until we have it almost going straight that way. I'm not going to follow the river all the way. I would like to create a leisure district right here using the leisure and tourism assets, and that will be below our big bridge that will be crossing from here to here, carrying the traffic from our main highway. But this is a story for another day. For now, let's use our first remove the trees from here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove them here as well because I'm gonna be using most of this area later on. Just trim it as much as you need. Let's make sure that we have a straight line here. Trying to keep the same distance from the river. And I think this is good enough right here. And what I'm gonna do is maybe just come a little bit more. I need my 90 degrees. Just come a little bit more here as well. Perfect. And then we can go to our curve road with our road guidelines on. Find that guideline and have that perfect smooth curve right here. This will be our main entry, I think, into this neighborhood. So we can grab this road right here, come down, and instead of coming straight, I'm gonna curve into my main road. Just again, it's not working. Let's grab it here. Yeah, that looks better. Again, it just gives a little bit more interest to our neighborhoods and cities when you have curved roads instead of just having 90 degrees everywhere. I'm gonna keep this area quite open for now. I might not add a little bit more residential right here, but I would like to have a more of a shopping corner at this intersection right here. Eventually, I will have a tram running down the waterfront right here through the shopping area, connecting back to this main avenue and going through and back all the way up this way. Just pre-planning and having an idea of what you want to be doing in the future will help you pre-plan stuff and keep some spaces for that as well. Here, I would like to go with my streets and I'll add this right here and then maybe up. We're doing 3 deep, so here, here, go to curve road tool, get this one, and where this is how we're gonna be changing our initial grid to this side, and we'll be having our grid changing with it as well with our curve roads. Actually, we can connect this one here. I think this is enough connections for now, as we will be having an extra one coming from here down to this area later on. I think this is enough. I'm envisioning a big park maybe around this area and then my first campus right on top here. We do have a little bit of industrial demand and commercial demand and residential demand as well. To satisfy that a bit, I'm gonna go and add more fields right here. '26, and then we're going to 723. And I think this is because it's getting very close to the edge of where I want to be having my rural village. So I'm gonna extend here a little bit and go up. Let's remove these, trim these trees a little bit. Where are we? Okay, we're here. So let's trim these just a tiny bit. I would like to keep some of the initial forest that came with the map um, as a nod to Sidai for making this amazing map and not losing all the interesting points. So these are usually 8 cells deep, so I'm just gonna give myself space, and we're at 8 here as well. Let's remove this one. Let's place this one right here. You see how it does not want to go to the next one because it wants to snap to the corner first. To overcome that, you can force the zoning by adding fencing or adding removing zoning from this corner of the street or adding pathways. For now, we're just gonna put a fence because that's the look we're going for. And let's add more fields here. One more here. Our straight tool. This one I'll only take it to this point right here. I'll add one more field, and that's it for now. As we're running out of money, let's go. I'm gonna change everything here to wheat. Perfect. And we'll come back here to satisfy any demand coming up later on. Let's just look at our agriculture area while we're here. And by the way, if you have any suggestion how we should be calling this area, please let me know down below. I would really like to get your um, naming suggestions. I was gonna name it Pitzling Agropolis, but if you have a better name, please let me know. Here you can get some of the production information. As you can see, I'm importing a little bit of crops to satisfy my demand for the animal products, and it's costing me 160 simoleon. I'm gonna just call it dollars since it looks like dollars, and I'm making a bit more money this way. Once you start developing your industrial areas, you're going to be really making a big amount of money. So it's a really good way to make money. So if you're missing this DLC, please pick it up below from Instant Gaming. You can go to the info and let's see, we almost hitting the workers count, and we're still a little bit less than 1/3 of the resources that we need to produce until next level. For now, we're just going to add as we go back to our initial residential area, and we'll start developing this over here with more housing options. And gonna choose our roads, freeform, go down to the lowest angle, start at 90 degrees. First, I would like to trim this tree line a little bit, just to the edge. Yeah, let's see how our zoning. Yeah, that's what I wanted the zoning to be close enough to this edge, but not right against it. Give it a little bit of breathing room. And that's how we can remove the zoning from the overpass, and we will only have it on our street that we're laying on right now, and then we can landscape everything later on in our detailing time lapse. That's perfect. I'm gonna remove this one here, and I'll do one more. I can hit this one right here, and this will give us the same shape and the same curvature if you want to go with the same one. So if we go here and hit this one, as you can see, it's smooth, same distance. We're 8 plus 2 cells away, which is good enough for me right now, and it's perfectly curved. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the zoning on this side. I'm gonna pause it because, as you remember, whenever I remove the zones from one side, sometimes it does not work as you want. And to protect my zoning on the other side, see, it was showing me the wrong way. So I have to go back. Let's upgrade. Now it's doing it the right way. Upgrade here as well. I will go back and make sure that whatever got dezoned is zoned again, so these don't despawn. Perfect, everything is zoned. I can press play again, go to my district, expand my district here all the way to the edge, and I will tidy up my district later on as we expand and meet all the district meets and make them look more straight lines. It might be just me with my OCDs of having straight lines everywhere. I'm gonna have a walkway starting from here and just hugging this um, embankment right here, and this will force my zoning to only be on this road as well, and just give one more option for people to get to the end by walking or cycling, since they can use the dirt road to cycle as well. They don't prefer it. If you put cycling roads, they will cycle for sure more. If you don't put them, they will still cycle on these dirt roads, but they don't prefer using them in general as a cycling method. So I'm just gonna bring it until maybe around here. And you can see how it forced all my zone into this side with those deep four tiles. I'm gonna do the same thing here, but before, let's turn off the snapping so I need to go straight. So I'm gonna turn off this angle because when it snaps to that 5 degrees, it does not give me as much freedom. So if you want to have all the freedom, just turn off the snapping to those predefined angles. And just here, making sure we're not removing any zoning. Yeah, perfect. Then let's go ahead and zone this area as well. And since we have those big deep blocks, I'm just gonna fill all of them. And we'll deal with this one later once we expanded our road network here. I will also make sure I have enough coverage. Now I need to turn on my angle so I snap to that 90 degrees. I'm running out of money a little bit, but I'm still making enough money, so I'm just gonna go on a bit of fast forward, wait for all of these housing to come in, while also starting planning my grid network here, and I will meet you in a bit. As I was waiting for my housing to come up and gather a little bit more money, I started finishing up my cycling path, and I built this ramp around here with a crossing over the highway and going down on the other side to join this industrial area and given options for people to be able to cycle. As you can see, people are already using it, and they will be encouraging biking throughout the city by using policies as well and providing better infrastructure for bikers. Make sure whenever you're building these bike lanes, especially if you're going up, is to make sure your ramps are have very gentle gradients because if it's very high, imagine yourself trying to bike up a very steep hill. It's not pleasant, it's not realistic. Whenever you find a general biking paths, the gradients are very quite low to help the bikers go up. I also noticed I started having a little bit of an issue with my power. So let's go ahead and check how much we're producing 40 megawatts at the moment and using 37. It does fluctuate a little bit. So for now, I think we're good. We have quite a bit of industrial demand right now, and I would like to satisfy that one here. Um, The next step will be going into our unique factory and actually building our first unique factory. Unique factories are part of the industry's DLC. They produce luxury goods and they're one of the best ways to actually make money in the game. We have unlocked the bakery, so we can go ahead and look at our bakery. It does require three resources: crops, flour, and animal products, and it will produce the luxury product which all the unique factory will be producing. For now we're already producing crops and producing animal products, but we will be needing to produce flour. So let's go to our industry farming industry tab and let's look at our flour mills. Our flour mill is going to cost us around 15,000. I would like to have at least two or three of them, and then our special unique factory will be costing us 20,000. So it's a big investment and they don't have enough money at the moment to do it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take a loan. So let's go take a look at our loans at the moment. Go back to 12 here. I can go and pick up the biggest loan. As you can see, the weekly cost for the big loan is actually less than the weekly cost for the small loan. Yes, it takes more time to pay it off, but that should not be a problem. We're making enough money to cover it, and it will really help us kickstart our economy. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one. In my time lapse, I already started messing with the frame to where I want to put my flour mills. I would like them to line this main way right here, which is going to be our rural highway going through this area. I did play with some measurements. I would like to place a flour mill and greenhouse right next to it while having enough space for our train service. So I'm going to go right here, come down. Gonna give myself some space right here. Then let's go grab our flour mill. So we have enough space with the road once we upgrade it. And right next to it, what I usually like to do, go to your fruit field, place one, and if you place the greenhouse variant of it, it looks like it's one big building and it works together. You can use more of our industry zoning to really increase this footprint, or use the bigger field as well, as we gonna have them later on in level 3 to really create these bigger industrial complexes. For now, we're gonna just connect this one to our road. I'm gonna redo this whole road structure right here once I have access to my highways later on, but for now this will do. We have access. We're going to be producing crops directly into the flour mill, and maybe in this corner, let's see if we can maybe mirror grab this one right here. I think that looks good. Let's see if we have enough zoning. Yeah, we do. And we might add a little bit more of our specialization farming. Let's see if we can grab this one right here. And then I'm gonna turn off the zoning right here to give us these bigger cells on both roads. And I will place a 4x4. There's one asset that I'm specifically looking for, and hopefully I will get it. And right here, I'm gonna add these 1x2s deep, and hopefully I will get these silos. Also, we need space to store our crops for our factories. This is the small one. I think I'm gonna wait until I get the large grain silo and place it right here. For now, maybe I'll place this one. No, I'll wait for the big silo to be available and I'll place it. So hopefully this will come in soon enough. As I said, I would like to place another one. For that, I'm gonna go right behind here. You might wonder why. I'll show you why I prefer this visual. Let's go with one more flour mill. I forgot I need zoning. Playing vanilla on console is such a joy. Everything takes much longer and you have to redo everything more often, but we accept the challenge and we're here for it. I'm gonna place this one right here. So my vision is as you come down this road, you have these big silos that are framing this road. I'm gonna detail it later on. Sorry, there was too noise. I'm gonna detail it later on, but I really like this visual of as you come down the rural highway with these big silos framing the way. I'm gonna go ahead and add. We don't have access to it. Here, instead of a small one, I'm going to be going with a medium one, so I have to wait for it to spawn. And as we're speaking, we got our level 3 area. Let's discuss quickly what we got. We got another unique factory, our lemonade factory, the milking parlor, which is another asset that produce animal products. We have medium crop field and the medium fruit field. I will go first to show you what I meant by leaving these big open spaces. So if you take your medium, I need the proper one, the crop field. I'll put it right here. Let's switch it to potatoes because we have a potato field. And then with this and just that small fencing around, it looks like one big field. Instead of just having random field dotting your area, you have a cohesive, good looking farming area. I'm gonna do the same thing right here and hopefully I can just snap it right here. That's exactly what I was looking for. And let's change this one to we, and that's perfect. The road ends exactly what I wanted it to end with our building right here. And let's see. I think I'm just gonna waste all my money putting these instead of actually building what I talked about, but let's just do it. So at least this corner is done. And we were having apples. And again, you have this small into the field, and now we have this bigger field look and feel to it, and you can just create different sizes, and you can go as big as you want or as small as you want. Um, this is actually the asset I was looking for. Sometimes you just get lucky with the assets. Sometimes you have to play that whack-a-mole, hitting them, destroying them until you get the assets that you're looking for. I'm not a maybe one of them, but not both. I'm really looking for these silos to be right here. I'll keep this one. Let's say it's a small building to service the silos right here, which should work. And right here, let's go and build our medium field. I will see if there is a way I can turn off these background noises so you can hear me. Greenhouse, and again, it just looks like one big complex right here. Let's frame this one here. I'm gonna turn off my road guideline snapping. I just want to snap to the grid. I'm gonna pause it so I can I'm gonna leave space for one more. This can come later on. Now we're gonna start talking about where we're gonna put our unique factory. As I said, I would like this once we cross the highway and have our interchange right here, we're going to be crossing into our industrial agricultural area, and then we start this rural highway going through this area right here, coming to a big roundabout here where we're going to build our rural village around it on one side, and on the other side we'll have a bit of industrial area with our train line coming in servicing this industrial area as well. So I'm gonna extend this road just with dirt roads. I think I'm just gonna go straight for now. Maybe I'll still go freeform. Go to the lowest angle so it's a little bit more. No, I need to hit that 80. Yeah. Not too much, just a little bit of a bend. I'm gonna measure how much of another flour mill we need space for. So it's gonna be right here. So if we use that third square to start making our industrial area, that will work. So let's go back and we'll start putting some frames. So it was right here. Let's grab, I'm gonna go straight here. Let's grab this right here. Maybe just to here. We need enough space, so I'm not sure if I should go to 45. Let me think quickly about it. I'm gonna go a little bit more straight here first. And I'm gonna have the frame for that roundabout I was talking about. I would like to have quite a bit of a roundabout here because it will be have quite a bit of traffic coming from all the industrial areas as well of our cargo train terminal that we will be having here. So I will go with a 6 deep. So right here, 5, 6. It might be an overkill. 6. Go back to our curve road. Measure those 6s. 6. Hit that guideline. 6 to here. 6. I did something wrong right here, so maybe I did not measure this one right. So we're at 5, 6. Yeah. This is 6. This is 6. 5, 6. 5, 6. Okay, that looks better. I'm gonna have a straight road coming in here, making sure it's at 90 degrees. And again, once I have the trucks coming through this roundabout and going into this, I'm gonna make it a industrial avenue. Make sure that the junctions are not right next to the exit, just to give a little bit more breathing space. So for here, I'm gonna go here and then I'll draw this one that will come and eventually meet right here. And I think that just works almost perfectly. And through here, I'll do the entry into my makeshift bakery area. Let's use... Yes. I might have some broken zone in here. As you notice, I might have some broken zone here, so let's try to fix it first. This, and I'll go right here. And this actually should work now. It's still broken, so let's... Maybe it's this one. I'm gonna go to my guideline, road guidelines, so I can hook into this one. It's not hooking. Yeah, into this one. It's still broken for some reason. But let's not. I might have an idea to fix. I'm gonna turn off my guidelines here for now. Go down. I'm just gonna delete this one. And just join this one right here. And this fixed our zoning right here. Okay. Why did I do this? Then I'll show you quickly. Let's take our bakery. I might have to change that one tile. But yes. I want this view from our roundabout, as you can see, with the unique factory here centered. Once it's a beautiful view, imagine coming through this roundabout, looking this bakery with all these mountains behind. Views are very important to me. I like to look at the buildings, how they're going to sit, how they're going to look, how they're going to feel. Similar thing when I said this visual of coming the road with all these silos around here. We're having an issue with our electricity. Let's go back. Okay, we're not producing enough. Can we have anything else? But I think we're only... I would like to add some windmills around here, but we don't have enough wind around our farming area. It's a really cool visual, having some windmills around your farms, but we have it right here. Maybe we'll do it right there or once, or dotted around our mountains. But for now, to satisfy our demand, we're just gonna go ahead and grab our regular coal plants Um, One more thing, you might have noticed that we're out of money. So I really need the electricity. So I might go to my economy tab, go to my budget, and then, sorry, not the water, the electricity, increase it by 220. This will give me a temporary boost to our production. It will just help if you need a little bit more power until you get enough money. For now, I might even need to take another loan, but let's go back to our economy. Let's increase this one to 130 just to have enough. We're producing 46, consuming 40. Okay, that's not bad. Let's run some power here. Let's make sure we have water, and that hopefully will do it. And our unique factory can start producing the goods we're looking for. Gonna go up here, here, here. So now the unique factory is only waiting for resources. The crops are coming in. The animal products should be coming in as well. Our flour should be coming in from our flour mills right here. For now, I will leave this area. This is what I was looking for, by the way, these silos. So let's go ahead, add a little bit more zoning here to satisfy more of our industrial demand. We have a little bit more residential and commercial. So for now, we'll let this zone work and produce more money for us so we can finish zoning it and having enough production. We're gonna go back across the highway and try to finalize this corner right here. um, Bring this road to where we think it will cross and add a little bit more zoning to satisfy both our residential demand and our residential and commercial demand, as we have a little bit of commercial demand right here. So let's do it. So as I was expanding my residential area, I did hit Boomtown, which is our next milestone. We unlocked a new area that we can be using in the future. We unlocked airport areas and transport options as our services. So now we can start actually planning our public transit. Not everything, but we did unlock some of them, which include the bus, the tram, the taxis, the postal service and ferries. Still no trains, unfortunately. We did unlock our next industry area, which is the ore industry specialization. We unlocked some new policies that goes with it, and most importantly, we unlocked our highways and all the other options for our roads, which include our roads, bike lanes, and special intersections. I will just continue doing what I was doing here, just tying up this corner first. Then once I have everything ready with our zoning, I will go ahead. Let's add one more here. This area is looking good. Williamsburg is almost done. I'm gonna go back to my Command Castle. I'm not sure if I explained why I called it Command Castle. At the beginning, I was just gonna call this area Cam, but since we have Castle Owen right here, I wondered why not call it Command Castle. Let me know what you think. If you prefer something else, put it down in the comments. For now, I'm gonna start building our first educational campus right here with our first school and first high school and some leisure activities tied to it. So I'm gonna go into a fast forward time lapse doing that and finishing up with some light landscaping. Then that will be it for our episode. I did notice off camera that when I made my roads with dirt roads here, they're gonna be way too tight for what we need. So after that, I'm just gonna do it off camera, just replacing all these roads with the appropriate road that I was supposed to be using since the beginning. We're gonna keep the same shape, the same format, just give it enough space so the road will fit. As you can see, our unique factory is working. It has enough resources, it's producing enough. We can even crank up the production rate a little bit up if we want. We're making quite a bit of money, around 9,000 to 10,000, depending on the fluctuation. And this is all because of this little factory. And imagine once we start having all our big factories online, that we start making the big bucks. But for now, gonna start working on our campus, which I will build right here around the change of the grid in Kaman Castle. So stay tuned for this one. All right, let's have a quick review of what I've done so far. So off camera, I fixed this area right here. I upgraded the roads to our rural highway roads with these dedicated turning lanes. I upgraded our dirt roads around here to our industrial roads to make sure everything fits, and they plopped some more um, industrial areas just to bring this together. I'm using the Industrial Revolution asset content created packs because I really like this red brick looks. It looks really good and it really ties in with this unique factory right here. I will finish up this area and landscape it and detail it later on, maybe in the next episode. But for now, you have the idea of the vision I was going for. I added a third flour mill with its own access for this small area. And as you come through this main road, you see those big silos and those big warehouses. It gives you that big industrial area vibe, mostly rural, because you see those usually in rural areas. Um, Whenever you have an awkward space and you don't know what to do with it, sometimes it's easy just to leave it empty, put a fence around it, throw some rocks, throw some vegetation. And again, if you're putting it around your fertile lands, be very careful about how much vegetation you're putting there. I just put some grass and some undergrowth and some rocks. Let's pretend those rocks were excavated from nearby areas for the build. I added a little bit more crop fields since it was important more than what I needed, and I wanted to satisfy all my local demands locally. So add a little bit. You're gonna tie up this area later in the next episode once I start working on my rural village right here in this corner. Going across the highway, I extended the residential area towards the highway and will eventually tie it to our cycling lane that will almost hug this highway over here. Just gentle curves following this main road going up. I also detailed this way with some fencing around it, with some trees, some undergrowth just to hide the edge. It just really makes it look nice and clean and visually appealing. It's very easy, it's very fast to do. Just remember that for PS players, our mesh can be a little bit harsher to overlap than in PC. So if you ask why my vegetation is not overlapping, as you can see in some other content creator, over there in YouTube, it just because on the console the mesh is not as forgiving. On PC, you can overlap the mesh more than on console, and you can get these very close to each other and below the trees, and it just works a little bit better. But we have to work with what we got, and this is what we got now. Over here, I expanded the road network along the river, and eventually this will go up and meet our interchange right here, and we'll do that in the next episode. I added more commercial area. I added this commercial area here, and I gave it the sustainable green cities specialization. Let's see, commercial specialization, organic and local produce, which is part of the Green Cities DLC. It's another nice part of that DLC. It gives you different kind of assets to play with when it comes to your low density commercial. And they just look a little bit more modern, nicer. They use more your local and mostly your farming industry. So it really works with what we have right now going on. um, I don't mind this repetition right here. It just looks like it's one big store or a twin store that opened at the same time. So I don't mind it. I left it and just finished with some light detailing with some roses and some trees right here. This looks like a rogue house that does not belong here. So let's check. And yes, I'm gonna make sure that you go in my district. So you follow our district style, which is European suburbia. You can see I left a little bit more space here just in case I need it for my interchange. I will come again later on once my interchange is done to finish up this corner right here. At the end of this street, as a centerpiece, I added a cemetery. Start having some debts, so whenever you start having debts, you need to add death care. You can add it either by adding cemeteries, and the cemetery function exactly like your landfill, where it just puts the dead people in and it starts getting full. At one point, it will be full, and you need to either empty it or construct a new one. So it's not the best asset to deal with death care. Later on, we're gonna unlock our crematoriums and our crypto conservatories, and those work much better. But for the look and feel for now, I do like this one as the center of this neighborhood. Here I added a little bit more commercial. This one, the diner, I just thought it would be a perfect addition around this roundabout, and I will be spamming this one quite a bit. Let's say this is this most famous diner in Pitzling, and they have multiple locations. This one actually acts as a park, and it's one of the content creator packs right here, and it's part of our mid-century modern content creator park. I really like this one, and I do use it quite a bit since it acts like a park and add value and happiness to your citizen. Over here, we finished our educational campus. I went with the school from the Green Cities DLC. It's called the Community School. It has a smaller student capacity but a bigger catchment area, so it's good for your starting suburban area where you have less density, but it does not meet a lot of demand. So eventually I might be having to add another school somewhere soon, since I'm almost at the limit of my capacity. I made a special road around a parking lot area, and I put my high school right here. I'm using the vanilla high school for the European maps, and you can unlock that one as I showed you before by going to any district. Sorry, not the name in. To here and enable style buildings right at the top right here. And that will give you access to all service buildings for both the North American and the European zones. I added football field at the back here, a baseball field at the back here. Added some pathways around to school just to tie everything together. Some light detailing, not too much. I know when you're playing with a controller, it's not fun to keep spamming trees and hedges. It takes a lot of time, and especially for those hedges, since they don't overlap as nicely as I said, as on PC, it does not look usually really good. I added two tennis courses right here, either for the high school, the primary school, or just for the neighborhood itself. A playground for the kids that go to this school, and extended it with some pathways, a gazebo overlooking the baseball field, and expanded our playground with more props just to give it a bigger catchment area. Again, with some light trees, not too crazy, just to give it a little bit of a personality there. Over here, I'm still not sure what to put. Please give me some ideas. I was thinking either a low density commercial, maybe a fast food chain around here, or maybe some parks or parking lots. Let me know what you think will fit best in this small corner here. And I think at this point, I de-zoned most of my older industrial areas, so most of it is gone. I removed the streets. I will keep the center here eventually, but we'll get this back to this one later once I start working on my highway. So I think this is a good spot to keep the episode and end it. Thank you so much again for watching. Please let me know what you think about this build guide, if you're enjoying it, if you're learning anything new, if you're getting any ideas. As well, please make sure you subscribe down below and hit that button to get notified for the next episodes. And if you'd like to support me, please go ahead and order your DLCs that are still missing or your gift cards for the PS store down below in the Instant Gaming link. Or you can support me on Patreon as well. Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear from you guys and girls and everyone in between. Looking forward to continuing this build guide and seeing where it goes with Pitzling. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.